Creating CSS animation is very easy using keyframes, but there are some limitations. You cannot move the element along the curved path like this example. So in the CSS hack episode, I'm going to talk about the limitation of CSS animation and the workaround to create a curved animation path like this. Ready? Let's check it out. The reason why we can't create a custom curve animation path is because CSS animation engine will always take the shortest path between the keyframe position. Let's take a look at this example. If we try to recreate the movement using keyframe to move the element between the peak spot, here's what we get. You will see that the CSS engine will try to move the element directly between each keyframe position, resulting in zigzag instead of wave. Well, it's not impossible though. You can create as much keyframes as possible to move the element along the path, but that's going to take lots of effort and running with poor performance. So this is when we are going to start our hack. Here's what it looks like if we separate the movement between X and Y axis. You will see that the key concepts of the wave movement is the animation speed between X and Y axis are asynchronous. The problem is, since our element can have only one animation property, we can't separate the animation between X and Y axis. But don't worry, the workaround is very simple. Since we cannot add two animation properties, then we are going to create an invisible wrapper around our element, then add the animation to the wrapper instead. Now let's create a separate keyframe for X and Y axis movement. I'm going to change the timing function of the x-axis to linear. For the wrapper, I'm going to use ease-in-out timing function. Finally, I will also separate the starting position of the element between the wrapper and the element. Here's the result when we combine both axis movements together. The wrapper responsible for the y-axis animation and the element itself for the x-axis. Now if we want to emphasize the wave movement or creating spring-like effect, we can change the animation timing function using Bezier curve. Here is the generator tool that I usually use. Bend the curve as you like and paste it into the CSS code. Since this method has no limit to how many layers of wrapper we can have, we can create more complicated movement by adding more. For example, I'm going to add another wrapper with a rotation around z-axis. One final note before we end this hack. Actually, there is already a CSS motion path modules that let you move the element along a custom path. But the problem is it's still an experimental module, and Safari doesn't support it yet. So until that time, you will have to rely on this hack, a few years perhaps. So that's all for this CSS hack episode. If you like this tutorial, don't forget to subscribe our channel to stay tuned. Thanks for watching, see you next time. Bye!